Top of the morning to ye. Welcome back to Adam's Furniture Restoration. On this beautiful St. Patrick's Day morning, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the good Lord for keeping the sun in me face and the wind at me back. For those of you who already know, this is part 5 of a 5-part series on how to refinish furniture geared more towards beginners and not for professionals or anyone with expertise who knows what they're doing. As always, do not forget to begin with your safety glasses. If you don't, I be telling your mum and she'll grab your father's shillelagh and smack you upside your head, or maybe put a foot in your arse. Okay, all joking aside, as you guys know, this is part 5, as we already mentioned. So on part 5, we stained the piece, and we were going to come back, and I was going to spray it with sealer, but to be honest with you, it was going to start to get a little redundant. So we're going to jump out of that 055 territory, the remedial refinishing. We're going to jump up a little bit. So we're going to start to get into the 101. I'm going to spray a finish on here. So I already sprayed sealer. It dried and I sanded it. Sanding sealer is very similar to sanding the piece originally. It's a little bit different, but as I said, that was going to start to get a little redundant. So that's something we'll save for another series. If anyone really wants to see it that bad, just leave a comment. I'll show you something a little bit sooner. But that starts to get out of the remedial. It starts to get a little bit more advanced. Like I said before, not that any of this is rocket science, but it's not as simple as some other procedures. So for people who like to use varnishes or shellacs, whatever, and like to brush things on or do it with a rag, that's fine and dandy. But I do things on a professional level, so I spray everything. If it's a much, much older piece and it needs Danish oil, or if it's something for, if you need a food grade finish, that's completely different. But this is an end table. It's something it's going to get used. It's going to have drinks on it and stuff like that. And like I said, I spray for a lot of reasons. Number one is just production. I need to get stuff done. I don't have time to, let stuff sit around for weeks and weeks and weeks. I have to get jobs finished. So this has already been prepped. I cut out the part where I touched it up and toned it. Like I said, we'll cover that in a later series. So the only thing you are really going to need for this is definitely going to want some form of respirator if you're spraying. You're going to want your safety glasses, as you guys already know. If you don't have them, get them. $2 a pair, less than that, get them. Protect yourself. Let's see. Another thing you will need is, this is a tack cloth. You don't always need this, but since I have one, I'll show you how to use it. It's very, very easy. The other thing is I have an HVLP gun over there. That's what I'm going to be spraying with. So first things first, this is pretty much cleaned off, but the tack cloth, the whole point of this is it grabs little nibs. If there's any dust or any funky stuff on there, it just grabs it up, but it doesn't leave a residue. This isn't something where you want to take a wet rag with water and wipe it down before you spray it or finish it. It's just a horrible, horrible idea. I've never heard of anyone doing that, but I'm sure someone has somewhere throughout the course of history. So that's all you're going to do with the tack cloth. Just wipe it down a little bit, and you can reuse these. These things last me a couple weeks before I toss it and get a new one. You can use them over and over again. You just have to do it real quick. You don't have to make a career out of it. You don't have to spend 3 hours just to get the little nibs of dust or anything that might be on there. Just get them off real quick. There you go. That's perfect. That's all you got to do. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Okay. So that is done. So let me put this over here. So here is my cup gun. This is all ready to rock and roll. So I'm using it's a post-catalyzed, it's a nitrocellulose-based lacquer. I know it's kind of a little more advanced. So anyway, I put a retarder in here, and it's also called a fisheye killer. The whole point of a retarder is to slow down the drying process. It retards, it slows it down. That's what it means. Then the fisheye killer is strictly for just to make sure that it helps to flow out flat. You don't have any funky issues or anything like that. You just put it a little bit, like I said, this is a little more advanced. I'm not going to get into proportions and stuff like that. So when you're spraying, if you are comfortable and you want to tackle it on, and like I said, I will cover this more in a different series later on. When you spray, you want to start off of the piece and finish off of the piece. You don't want to start here and stop there, because it's just, you're not going to get even coverage. It's going to look like garbage. Just start off the piece and go like that. Now, it depends on the situation. Sometimes I'll do the top first. Sometimes I'll do the top bottom, or excuse me, I'll do the bottom last. It all depends on
I guess what piece I'm working on that day and you know, the application. So one thing that's cool about spray guns is the way this is set up right now, that tip right there, the fan's going to spray like that. So this is if you want to go, oh, you know, I have it backwards, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. It goes like, it's set up like this. So that's for going side to side, side to side. If you spin it like, oh, let me loosen that a smidge. If you spin it like that, there we go. That's what I meant to say. When it's like this, then it sprays it like this. This is designed for going up and down. Now, I'm probably only going to change that a couple times as I'm spraying. I'm going to lift this up more than anything else. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So other than that, I am going to get started. And this should only take a couple minutes. So I'm only going to spray the one piece. I'm not going to do the drawer and the other piece because, like I said with the other stuff, it kind of gets to be a little bit redundant. Okay, so I already used the tack cloth on this, but another good habit to get into is to blow it off with a little bit of air. But I did that before, and then I did the tack cloth, so I'm not going to do it again. Okay, and I like to run my hand across it just to make sure I don't feel anything on there. Yeah, I mean, it feels good to me. I don't feel anything. It's those big surface areas is what you really want to check, especially down here on the shelf. The legs, if you ever get a little nib of dust, it's not that big of a deal, but that surface area, the way the light hits it, it'll show little imperfections, so you want to do your best on them for sure. Not that you want to, you know, hack the other parts of it, but you definitely want to take a little extra time and care for that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is fire this up, and I'm going to spray it. And then that'll pretty much be it. All right, where are my safety glasses? Okay, there we go. All right, here we go. Okay. And that is pretty much all you have to do. When I'm done, I like to get down there on an angle, kind of get down on an angle, let the light hit it, see if I see anything. If anything does hit it at that point, I will pull it out. So that looks pretty good to me. There's a couple spots I'm probably going to hit again. Looks a little bit dry. You'll see as I sprayed it, there was a couple times where I didn't go completely off the piece and go back and forth. There's reasons for that, which I'm just not going to cover today. But that is it. We are done. That was our 5-part series on how to, basically refinish a piece of furniture. It's, it's not extremely difficult, but it's like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get at it. As always, if you guys have any comments or anything like that, questions, leave them in the comment section. And do not forget, subscribe. Always subscribe. You can keep up to date with everything we got going on over here. And for those of you going out and enjoying the holiday, St. Patrick's Day today, drink responsibly or irresponsibly, but just remember, however you decide to drink, you are responsible for your actions in the long run. So just don't drive, call an Uber, be smart. But if you want to get wacky, have fun. It is St. Patrick's Day on a Saturday. Most of us have off tomorrow. I do not, unfortunately, but everyone else probably does. So live it up, have fun. Guys, thanks again as always, and I'll see you soon. Take care.